What if I told you that before you woke up this morning, Jesus whispered your name to Archangel Michael, and Michael drew his sword? What if I told you that on heaven's calendar, pinned to the throne room wall where angels gather, there's a red circle around December 31, and your name is written right beside it in blood-red ink? What if this isn't just another year ending, but your last chance to answer a knock you've been ignoring for decades? Listen to me carefully. This is not clickbait. This is not religious theater. This is a divine interruption. And if you're over 50, if you've buried people you love, if you've sat in hospital waiting rooms wondering if God remembers your address, then you need to understand something that will shake you to your core. Jesus and Archangel Michael have been trying to reach you for months, and tonight they're done waiting. You've lived long enough to know you don't get many last chances. You've seen wars end and friends disappear. You've watched empty chairs multiply at Thanksgiving tables. You've held hands that went cold, whispered goodbyes that echoed in sterile hallways. You know better than these younger folks scrolling past that time doesn't pause for anyone. But here's what breaks my heart. While you've been surviving, heaven's been screaming. Jesus has been standing at the door of your heart. Revelation 3:20 says, He's knocking, but you've been too tired, too hurt, too convinced you missed your moment to answer. And Michael, that warrior archangel who commands heaven's armies, he's been fighting battles in the spiritual realm that you never saw. Battles over your health at 3 a.m., battles over your children's souls, battles to keep you alive when that heart attack should have taken you out. They're both here, right now, not someday, today. Before we go deeper, let me pause and thank every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and let the Spirit lead your heart. Now hear me clearly. Before this hour is over, you will understand why heaven is calling this your last chance to ignore what God's been saying. You will discover what you lose if you walk away from this moment. And you will face a choice that angels are watching you make. Don't click away. If you're reading this and something in your chest just stirred, type these 3 words in the comments right now. Lord, I'm listening. Because December 31 isn't just another date, it's your date. And what happens next will determine everything. Why does your chest tighten at 2 a.m. when the house is silent? Why do you lie awake calculating how many pills are left, how many doctor visits you can afford, how long before you become a burden? Why does the enemy wait until you're alone when the TV's off and the grandkids haven't called in 3 weeks to whisper that you don't matter anymore? Let me tell you something that's going to shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew about your golden years. You are not just aging, you are at war. Some of you can feel it in your chest right now. When you lay down at night, the room is quiet, but the war in your mind is deafening. The bills stacked on the kitchen counter, the prescriptions you're rationing because Social Security doesn't stretch like it used to, the phone that doesn't ring, the side of the bed that's been cold for 2 years, the walker in the corner that feels like a prison sentence. You thought this was just life. You thought this was what happens when you get old in America. But beloved, what if I told you that every single one of those struggles, every fear that grips you at 3 a.m., every moment you've wondered if your kids wish you'd just go ahead and die so they could split the house, what if all of that is evidence of a spiritual battle raging over your final years? The enemy knows something about you that you've forgotten. He knows that your prayers still carry weight. He knows that your tears still move heaven. He knows that one grandmother on her knees at dawn is more dangerous to his kingdom than 1,000 lukewarm believers sitting in air-conditioned church pews. So he attacks, relentlessly. He sends loneliness like a dagger at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday when everybody's too busy to call. He whispers through your doctor's mouth. At your age, we can only manage the pain. He makes you feel invisible at family gatherings, like you're already a ghost haunting your own bloodline. He plants thoughts in your mind that sound like your voice, but carry his poison. You're a burden. You're too old to matter. God's moved on to younger people. But here's what the enemy didn't count on. Here's what hell hoped you'd never discover. You have a warrior assigned to you. His name is Michael, and he's been fighting battles you never saw. Now let me be crystal clear. Michael is not some cartoon angel floating on a cloud with a harp. Michael is the commander of heaven's armies. Revelation 12:7 says, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. This is the archangel who threw Satan out of heaven. This is the warrior who stands in the gap between you and the forces of darkness that want you dead before your assignment is complete. Hebrews 1:14 asks a question that should stop you in your tracks. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Ministering spirits, sent to serve you, not sent to entertain you, sent to fight for you. And Michael? He's been at it for decades. That car accident in 1987, when you walked away without a scratch, and the paramedics couldn't explain how? Michael. That heart attack 3 years ago when the doctors said you flatlined for 90 seconds, but somehow came back? Michael. That night you stood at the medicine cabinet with a bottle in your hand, ready to end it all, and something you couldn't explain made you put it down. That was Michael standing between you and the grave you almost chose. You almost died. Multiple times. But something held you here. Listen to me. Jesus saves your soul, that's the gospel truth. John 3:16 promises eternal life through him. But Michael guards your path. He fights the battles in the spiritual realm while you're fighting battles in the natural. He pushes back what should have taken you out years ago. He blocks the enemy at the door of your mind when depression comes calling at midnight. Think about it. That stroke should have left you paralyzed. That fall down the stairs should have broken your hip and landed you in a nursing home. That depression after your wife died should have swallowed you whole. But it didn't. You're still here, still breathing, still fighting. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's a warrior angel assigned to you by the King of Kings, doing what he's been commanded to do, keep you alive until your assignment is complete. But here's what's breaking my heart right now. And here's why December 31 matters more than you know. Michael has been fighting for you while you've been ignoring the very God who sent him. He's been blocking arrows aimed at your heart while you've been too tired, too hurt, too convinced you're forgotten to answer when Jesus knocks. And beloved, there comes a moment, a threshold moment, when heaven says, enough. We've fought for you, called for you, protected you, but we will not force you. That moment is December 31, the end of the calendar year, the closing of the book. And the question that's echoing in the throne room of heaven right now is this: will you finally answer before the door closes? Because if you only knew what Michael has blocked from reaching your family, what battles he's fought over your children's souls, what schemes of the enemy he's dismantled in the middle of the night, you wouldn't treat this message like just another video. You'd fall on your knees and thank God you're still alive to hear it. But the clock is ticking. And what I'm about to reveal next will show you exactly what you lose if you keep ignoring the knock at the door of your heart. You know what breaks the heart of Jesus tonight? It's not the headlines, it's not the politicians or the wars or the chaos on the evening news. What breaks his heart is you sitting there right now, pretending you're fine when your soul is screaming. He sees you cry in the bathroom with the water running so nobody hears. He watches you smile for your grandchildren while your heart cracks like old porcelain underneath that sweater they gave you last Christmas. He knows about the 3 a.m. moments when you stare at the ceiling wondering if anyone would really miss you if you were gone tomorrow. And tonight, heaven is weeping, not because you're weak, but because you've been strong for so long that you forgot how to be honest. Listen to me, beloved. Jesus is not ashamed of your wrinkles. He's not embarrassed by your scars or your mistakes, or the fact that you take 7 medications every morning just to get through the day. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." But you haven't come, have you? You've been carrying it all alone, because somewhere along the way, someone convinced you that's what faith looks like. But that's not faith. That's pride dressed up in exhaustion. Here's what you need to understand, and I need you to really hear this. You are closer to eternity right now than you've ever been in your entire life. Every sunrise you witness, every breath you take, every beat of your aging heart is bringing you one step closer to the moment when you stand face to face with the God who made you. And heaven refuses, absolutely refuses to let you slide into eternity, believing the lie that you are forgotten. The enemy has been whispering in your ear for decades. It's too late. You wasted your life. You made too many mistakes. God moved on to younger people who actually have something to offer. And you believed him, didn't you? You believed that lie so deeply that you stopped dreaming, stopped praying with any real expectation, stopped believing that the God of the impossible still sees you as possible. But Jesus whispers back tonight, "I'm still here. I'm not done with you." Psalm 34:18 declares, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Not was close, not will be close, is close. Present tense. Right now, in this moment, while you're watching this message, he's right there beside you, and he's moved by what you've been through. Some of you are still holding on to what they did to you in 1978. That betrayal, that abandonment, that moment when the person you trusted most looked you in the eye and chose someone else. Or maybe it was 1989 when your business collapsed and you lost everything you'd spent 20 years building. Or 2003 when the doctor said those words that changed everything and you've never been the same since. You've carried these memories like old letters in a box under your bed, yellowed, fragile, but still powerful enough to control how you see yourself today. And heaven is crying because you've been carrying what Jesus already bled for. Isaiah 53:5 tells us, "By his wounds we are healed." Not by your strength, not by your ability to hold it together, by his wounds. He already paid for your freedom, but you're still living in prison. Why? Because the lock is on the inside, and you're the only one with the key. Here's the surgical truth that's going to cut deep. You've become so good at surviving that you forgot you were made for thriving. You've gotten so comfortable with your pain that it's become your identity. That bitterness you carry about your children who don't call, you wear it like a badge. That resentment toward the spouse who left, or the church that hurt you, or the God who didn't answer the way you wanted. You've wrapped it around yourself like a coat, and now you can't remember what warmth feels like without it. But Jesus wants to clean the attic of your soul tonight. He wants to walk through those dusty rooms you haven't opened in years, the regret room, the shame room, the what-if room, and he wants to throw open the windows and let light flood in, because you can't take any of that into eternity, not 1 ounce of it. And the closer you get to heaven's door, the heavier it becomes. You feel it, don't you? That weight pressing on your chest that has nothing to do with your blood pressure medication. That exhaustion that 8 hours of sleep can't touch. That emptiness that even your grandchildren's laughter can't quite fill. That's your soul crying out for what it was made for, not religion, not routine, not just getting through another day. Your soul is crying out for encounter, for intimacy, for the presence of a God who sees past your Sunday smile and loves you anyway. 2 Corinthians 6:2 warns us, "Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready, not when you've gotten your act together. Now, today, December 31, the last day of this year and possibly your last chance to stop running from the one who's been chasing you with relentless love. Heaven is crying tonight because time is shorter than you think. And in just a few moments, I'm going to tell you exactly what you lose if you walk away from this divine appointment. But first, you need to understand who's been fighting for you in ways you never saw and why Archangel Michael has drawn his sword over your life. I need to stop you right here before your mind goes where religion has trained it to go. Because when you hear the words, last chance, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking God's about to give up on you. You're thinking heaven's running out of patience. You're thinking this is the moment Jesus finally throws up his hands and says, "You know what? I'm done." That's not what this means, not even close. Let me tell you what last chance really means, and this might be the most important thing you hear all year. When heaven says last chance, it is not saying, "I will stop loving you." It is saying, "I will no longer let you pretend you didn't hear me." There's a massive difference. And if you miss that difference, you'll miss everything. See, God's not threatening to leave you. God's threatening to stop letting you lie to yourself. He's saying the days of comfortable deafness are over. The season of "I'll deal with that later" just expired. The luxury of pushing him to the back burner while you handle more important things, that luxury just got revoked. This is your last chance to stay lukewarm. Your last chance to keep one foot in the kingdom and one foot in the world. Your last chance to believe the devil's favorite lie. There's always next year. And you of all people, you know better than that, don't you? You're not 25 anymore, scrolling through life like you've got unlimited tomorrows in your bank account. You're 70, you're 80, you're sitting there in that chair, and you feel it in your bones every single morning. Time isn't slowing down for you. Your body's reminding you daily that the clock is ticking, and it's ticking loud. You've buried friends who said next year. You've stood at gravesides of people who were going to get right with God eventually. You've watched people run out of eventually, and somewhere deep in your spirit, you absolutely know that you don't have endless next years stacked up like poker chips. So why are you still gambling? Jesus is standing at the door of your heart right now. Revelation 3:20 paints the picture. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in. But here's what gets me. He's knocking, not kicking it down, not forcing his way in. Knocking, patiently, persistently. For years, he's been knocking. But in the same chapter, just a few verses earlier, he says something that should make your blood run cold. Because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. Revelation 3:16. Lukewarm. That's the word. Not evil, not rebellious, not anti-God, just lukewarm, comfortable, casual. Yeah, I believe in Jesus, but I'm not one of those crazy religious people. That middle ground where you're Christian enough to feel safe, but not committed enough to be dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. And Jesus says that lukewarm faith makes him sick. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to stop you from lying to yourself. Because there are two roads in front of you right now, and where you end up depends entirely on what you do in the next 60 seconds. Road 1. You answer today. You stop playing games with God. You get on your knees even if those knees hurt, even if you have to lower yourself slowly, and you say, Jesus, I'm done pretending. I'm done being lukewarm. I'm yours, completely, for whatever time I have left. And what happens? You spend your final years in peace. real peace. Not the fake kind the world sells. You die with your hand in His. Your children watch you take your last breath whispering His name, and they never forget it. You pass on blessing, not confusion. You leave a legacy that outlives your body. Road 2. You harden. You say, "I'll think about it tomorrow." You click away from this message because it's making you uncomfortable, and tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next month. And one day, maybe it's 3 months from now, maybe it's 3 years, your heart stops, and you die the way you lived. Distracted, lukewarm, half-committed. Your kids find your body, and they don't know what you believed. They argue at your funeral about whether you're in heaven. You leave chaos behind instead of clarity. Which road are you on right now? Be honest. Because here's the thing about trains, and stay with me here. A train pulls into the station, and the doors open. You've got maybe 90 seconds to get on or get off. The conductor doesn't care if you're thinking about it. The conductor doesn't care if you're not ready yet. When those doors close, that train is gone. And you're standing on the platform watching your last ride disappear into the distance. December 31 is the train. Jesus and Michael are holding the doors open. But beloved, that door is about to close. And what I'm about to tell you next, what happens when that door closes, and what Jesus and Michael are trying to protect you from before midnight strikes. This is where everything you thought you knew about your life is about to change. But first, you need to understand why both of them are here for you today. Close your eyes for just a moment. I want you to see something. Picture your life like a little apartment in the Bronx, one of those old walk-ups with narrow hallways and walls so thin you can hear your neighbor's TV through the plaster. You're inside. The door is locked. But outside, in that dimly lit hallway, there's noise, danger, temptation pacing back and forth like a predator that knows your schedule. And standing right at your door, close enough that you could hear his breathing if you pressed your ear to the wood, is Jesus, knocking, not pounding, not screaming, just knocking, patient, persistent, waiting. At the end of that hallway, where the stairwell meets the shadows, stands Archangel Michael, sword drawn, wings spread, blocking everything that wants to rush in and destroy you before you can answer that knock. This isn't poetry, beloved. This is your reality right now. Revelation 3:20, Jesus himself speaking, says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him, and he with me." Did you catch that? If anyone opens. Not if anyone is perfect. Not if anyone has their life together. Not if anyone deserves it. If anyone opens. But here's what tears my heart apart. Some of you have been living with that knock for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You hear it in the middle of the night when the house is quiet and your regrets are loud. You hear it when you're sitting in that doctor's office waiting for test results. You hear it when you're staring at old photographs of people who aren't here anymore. And you know he's there. You've always known. But you've been too ashamed to open the door. Too tired. Too convinced that if he saw the mess inside your apartment, he'd walk away. Listen to me carefully, dear one. Jesus will not kick that door down. He will not break the hinges. He will not force his way into your life. He gave you free will, and he honors it even when it breaks his heart. He stands there knocking because he's waiting for your yes, your permission, your surrender. But while he's knocking, Michael is fighting. You want to know why you're still here? You want to know why that heart attack at 67 didn't take you out? Why you walked away from that car crash when the EMTs said you shouldn't have survived? Why you woke up from surgery when the doctors had already prepared your family for the worst? Michael. Michael at your gate, holding back principalities and powers that have had your name on a hit list since the day you were born. Psalm 91:11 declares, For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. You think that's symbolic? You think that's just nice religious language? No, there is a warrior angel assigned to your life, and he's been busy. But here's what Michael cannot do. He cannot obey for you. He can fight off demons. He can push back death. He can hold the enemy at bay. But he cannot open your door. Only you can do that. And if you refuse to open it, if you keep Jesus standing in that hallway while you watch TV and scroll through your phone and pretend everything's fine eventually, Michael sheathes his sword, because even heaven respects your right to choose. You survived that stroke. That was Jesus knocking, Michael guarding. You made it through that depression that almost swallowed you whole in 2019. That was Jesus knocking, Michael fighting. You're still breathing right now, listening to these words, when statistics said you should be gone. That's Jesus knocking, Michael guarding. But how much longer will they wait? I need you to do something right now. Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. Just respond. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm, that's proof you still have time. That's evidence the door is still there, and Jesus is still knocking. Now whisper these words, say them out loud if you're alone, or mouth them if you're not Jesus. I open fully. Say it again. Mean it this time. Jesus, I open fully. If you just did that, if something shifted in your spirit when those words left your lips, type 4 words in the comments right now. I open the door. Don't scroll past this. Don't let this moment slip through your fingers like sand. Let heaven see your yes. Let the angels witness your surrender. Because, beloved, we're not done. This is just the beginning of what I need to tell you. You've opened the door, but now you need to understand what you've been saved from. You need to know what you stand to lose if you treat this December 31 like any other day on the calendar. What happens when you finally let Jesus in? What does Michael's sword actually protect you from? And why? Why is this your last chance before something shifts in the spiritual realm that cannot be undone? Stay with me. The truth you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about your purpose, your protection, and your final chapter on this earth. Now listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shift everything you thought you knew about your remaining years on this earth. For some of you sitting there right now, maybe you're alone in your living room. Maybe you're lying in bed at 2 in the morning unable to sleep. God is not just trying to save your soul. He's trying to rewrite the last chapter of your story. And if you walk away from this moment, you will spend the rest of your days wondering what could have been. I wish you could feel what I'm sensing in the spirit over you right now. It's like heaven itself is holding its breath, waiting to see if you'll finally say yes to what's been chasing you for decades. You see, most people think that at 70, 80, 90 years old, the only thing left is to wait. Wait for the doctor's final diagnosis. Wait for the call about another friend who passed. Wait for your own name to be read at a funeral. But that's a lie, straight from the pit of hell. And I'm here to tell you that your next years can be your best years in the spirit, even if your body is weaker than it's ever been. Because God doesn't measure strength by how fast you walk or how steady your hands are. He measures it by how surrendered your heart is. Let me tell you what Jesus and Michael are fighting to give you right now in these final days of December. First, there's peace. Not the peace the world gives, not some meditation app or prescription bottle peace, but the peace that Paul talked about in Philippians 4-7, the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, the kind of peace that lets you close your eyes at night without fear clawing at your chest. The kind of peace that makes you stop obsessing over your obituary and start living like you still have purpose. Some of you have been tormented by the fear of dying. You won't admit it out loud, but every time you feel a pain in your chest, every time you forget a name, every time you look in the mirror and see your mother's face staring back, you wonder if today's the day. But when you say yes to this divine appointment on December 31, that spirit of death loses its grip. You stop dying slowly and start living fully, even if it's only for one more year, one more month, one more week. Second, there's restoration. I'm talking about that child who won't return your calls, that grandchild who's lost in addiction and won't let you help, that sibling you haven't spoken to in 15 years because of something stupid said at Thanksgiving 1998. God is about to move in relationships you thought were dead and buried. Ezekiel 37:3 records God asking the prophet, "Can these bones live?" And Ezekiel, standing in a valley of death, said, "Lord, thou knowest." He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He said, "You know what's possible." And God does. He knows exactly which broken relationship can be resurrected before you die. But it requires your obedience today. Third, and some of you need to hear this more than anything else, there's financial relief. I know you're tired of checking your bank account and doing that math that never adds up. I know you're exhausted from choosing between medication and groceries, between heating your house and paying your insurance. But Philippians 4:19 promises, "My God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus," not according to Social Security, not according to your pension that barely covers rent, according to his riches. When you align yourself with heaven's calendar on December 31, you are positioning yourself for supernatural provision. I'm not talking about winning the lottery. I'm talking about debts you thought would bury you suddenly being cancelled. Medical bills that should have destroyed you mysteriously disappearing. Money showing up from sources you'd forgotten about, insurance refunds, old accounts, relatives you didn't know cared. But here's what shakes me to my core, and you need to understand this. When you say yes today, you're not just changing your story, you're stopping a curse from going one more generation. Your obedience echoes through your bloodline like a shockwave through time. Think about it. How many generations in your family have struggled with the same demons, the same addiction, the same poverty, the same broken marriages? How far back does it go? 2 generations, 3, 5? And how many times have you looked at your children or grandchildren and thought, "Please, God, don't let them go through what I went through"? That prayer is about to be answered, but only if you show up on December 31 and let Jesus and Michael do what they've been preparing to do. God is holding a pen in his hand right now, and he's asking for permission to rewrite your final chapter. Not the chapter where you fade away forgotten in some nursing home, not the chapter where you die with regrets choking you, but the chapter where you become the ancestor your great-grandchildren thank God for. The one who broke the cycle, the one who said yes when it mattered most. But hear me clearly, every blessing has a battle around it. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what trap the enemy sets for people at this precise moment, right when breakthrough is within reach. Because if you don't see it coming, you'll miss everything heaven just promised you. But right now, right this second, something else is happening that you need to understand. And if I don't tell you this, I'd be lying to you. The enemy sees what heaven is doing. He hears Jesus knocking on your door. He watches Michael drawing his sword, and he's about to throw everything he's got at you to make sure you walk away from this moment unchanged. You think I'm being dramatic? Listen to me. In the next 10 minutes, maybe 20, you're going to feel something shift. A voice is going to whisper in the back of your mind, soft, reasonable, familiar. It'll sound like you, but it's not you. It'll say things like, "This is nice, but you can deal with this next week. You've got time." Or maybe it'll hit harder. "You're 73 years old. What's the point of changing now? You've been this way your whole life." God understands. Some of you, I'm talking to you specifically, some of you are going to get a phone call in the next hour. A text message, a knock on your door, something urgent that pulls you away from this moment, and you'll think it's coincidence. But beloved, there are no coincidences when heaven is moving. That distraction has been dispatched, sent, aimed at you like an arrow to stop you from hearing what comes next. I need you to know something that might make you uncomfortable. Michael fights demons. He wages war in realms you can't see. He's been protecting you from attacks you never knew were coming. But there's one battlefield he won't fight on: your will, your decision. That's your ground, and he won't invade it. If you choose to harden your heart, if you choose to click away, if you choose to say, "Not today," he'll step back. Jesus will stop knocking, and the door will close. You feel that resistance rising right now, don't you? That tightness in your chest, that voice saying, "This is too much. I don't need this pressure." Let me tell you something that will rock your world. That resistance is proof. That pushback you're feeling is confirmation that this word is for you, because the enemy doesn't waste energy on people who aren't about to break free. 2 Corinthians 4:4 says, "The God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelieving." But it's not just unbelievers he blinds. He targets the weary, the ones who've been hurt by church people, the ones who've prayed prayers that seem to bounce off the ceiling, the ones who've seen so much death, so much disappointment, so much betrayal that they learned to turn their hearts off just to survive. That's you, isn't it? Somewhere between your 40th birthday and today, you learned to feel less, to expect less, to hope less. You had to, or the pain would have killed you. You buried your mother and didn't cry at the funeral because you'd already cried yourself empty. You watched your marriage crumble and told yourself it is what it is because fighting felt pointless. You got that diagnosis and nodded calmly because shock was safer than screaming. You've been living in what I call spiritual winter. Your heart went dormant, not dead dormant, like trees in January, bare branches against grey sky, waiting for a spring that stopped coming. But here's what heaven is saying to you today, December 31, at the edge of a new year. Turn it back on, one more time. I'm offering you spring. Don't harden, don't postpone, don't explain away what you're feeling right now in your chest. That stirring isn't indigestion, that ache isn't nostalgia. That's your spirit recognizing the voice of the shepherd after decades of ignoring him. Hebrews 3:15 warns us, "Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts, not tomorrow, not next Sunday when you feel more spiritual. Today, because tomorrow isn't promised, and you know that better than anybody. You've stood at enough gravesides to know that 'I'll do it later' is the devil's favorite lullaby. Some of you are already composing the excuse in your mind. I'm too set in my ways. I'm too tired. I've disappointed God too many times. He's probably done with me anyway. That's the trap talking. That's the voice that wants you to believe you're beyond rescue, beyond purpose, beyond the reach of divine intervention. But let me tell you what's true. You wouldn't be hearing this if heaven had given up on you. Jesus doesn't knock on abandoned houses. Michael doesn't draw his sword over lost causes. The very fact that you're still breathing, still listening, still feeling something, anything, is proof that your story isn't over. Don't run from what you're feeling. Don't minimize it. Don't let the enemy steal this moment by convincing you it's just emotional manipulation or religious hype. Sit in it. Let it break you. Let it wake you. Let it turn your winter heart toward the sun one more time. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what you lose if you walk away from this moment, and what you gain, what heaven is holding in its hands, ready to pour out if you stay. The trap is set, but you see it now. And seeing it means you can step over it. The question is, will you? I need to tell you something. And I'm going to say this with love, not condemnation, not manipulation, but the kind of love that grabs your shoulders and looks you dead in the eyes because the house is on fire and you don't smell the smoke yet. If you walk away from this moment, if you close this video and go back to scrolling, back to pretending you didn't feel that stirring in your chest, you will lose something you can never get back. Let me be blunt with you, the way only a New Yorker can be. You're not 25 anymore. You don't have 50 years to figure this out. The clock on the wall isn't slowing down for anybody, and neither is eternity. So what do you lose if you skip this divine appointment? You lose the peace of dying with things right between you and God. And I know you've thought about that, haven't you? Late at night, when the house is quiet and your mind won't shut off, you've wondered, am I ready? If it happens tonight, am I good with God? That gnawing uncertainty, that's what you'll carry if you ignore this knock at your door. You lose the chance to break the cycles. The bitterness that's been passed down in your family, like a curse from your grandfather's rage, to your father's silence, to your own cold shoulders at Thanksgiving. The addiction, the divorce pattern, the poverty mindset, the depression that sits on your bloodline like fog. If you don't answer today, those chains don't break. They just get handed to your grandchildren. You lose the extra measure of protection over your household. Listen to me carefully. Archangel Michael is a warrior, not a decoration. When you align yourself with heaven's agenda, angelic assignments shift. Psalm 91:11 says, "He shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." But if you keep sending heaven to voicemail, that covering lifts. And, beloved, you cannot afford, not at your age, not with your health, not with what's coming in this world, you cannot afford to lose heaven's hedge of protection. You lose your testimony. Imagine standing before Jesus one day and he asks, "I knocked on December 31. You heard me. Why didn't you answer?" What will you say? "I was busy. I didn't think it mattered. I thought I had more time." There are only two testimonies you can carry into eternity. I answered, when he called, or I kept putting him on hold. Which one do you want carved into your legacy? But here's what you gain, O beloved. Here's what you gain if you respond today, right now, in this sacred hour. You gain assurance of salvation. Not based on your perfection, because none of us have that. Not based on how many church services you attended or how much money you tithed. Based on Jesus. Romans 10:9 says, "If you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved." That's it. That's the deal. And when you settle that today, you sleep different, you breathe different, you face tomorrow different. You gain a fresh angelic assignment around your home, around your children, around your mind. When you align with heaven, Michael doesn't just guard the perimeter, he goes to war on your behalf. He fights battles in the spiritual realm that you'll never see on the evening news. The depression that was circling your grandson? Intercepted. The accident that was scheduled for next Tuesday? Rerouted. The financial collapse that was heading toward your address? Blocked. You gain a calmness in your spirit that no doctor can prescribe. You know what I'm talking about. That anxiety that wakes you at 3 a.m. and won't let you go back to sleep. That restlessness that makes you pace the kitchen floor. That fear that sits in your chest like a stone. When you get right with Jesus, when you stop running and start surrendering, something shifts. Philippians 4:7 calls it the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. Your circumstances don't change overnight, but you do. And that peace, it's worth more than every pill in your medicine cabinet. Let me make this crystal clear. If you skip this moment, you are not just skipping a video. You are skipping a divine appointment. Jesus is knocking, Revelation 3:20. He's at the door of your heart right now, And Michael is standing guard, sword drawn, waiting to see if you'll finally open up and let the King of Glory in. Picture this. Heaven's phone is ringing. The caller ID says Jesus. You've sent it to voicemail 1,000 times, too busy, too tired, too scared, too proud. But this time might be the last time it rings. I'm telling you, chosen one, with every ounce of prophetic urgency in my bones, don't let this be the call you regret not answering. Because in just a moment, I'm going to lead you in something that may be the most important prayer and decision of your life, even if you've been sitting in church pews for 60 years, even if you grew up in Sunday school, even if you thought you had this settled a long time ago. What's about to happen next will require your voice, your honesty, and your willingness to let go of everything you've been holding on to that was never meant to be yours in the first place. Are you ready? Now listen to me, dear one. We've come to the moment where words stop being theory and become decision, where heaven stops knocking and starts waiting, where you either open the door or walk away forever. Some of you have been Christians for 50 years. You prayed a prayer at a revival tent when you were 14, got baptized in a river, and thought that was enough. But somewhere around 40, maybe it was the divorce, maybe it was burying your mother, maybe it was watching your son choose drugs over family, your heart froze. You kept going to church. You kept saying grace at dinner. But inside, ice, cold, numb. Today isn't about starting over. Today is about thawing, about letting the fire of God melt what religion couldn't touch. And some of you? You've never said the words out loud. You've believed in God the way you believe in gravity. You know He's there, but you've never actually talked to Him, never surrendered, never let Him take control of the chaos you've been managing alone for 70 years. Today, that changes. I'm going to lead you in a prayer, and I need you to say it with me out loud if you're alone, in your heart if someone's in the room. But don't just mouth the words, mean them, because Jesus doesn't want your religion. He wants your surrender. Here we go. Jesus, I'm tired of pretending I have this figured out. I've lived long enough to know I don't. I've made mistakes that still wake me up at 3 a.m. I've hurt people I loved. I've wasted years chasing things that don't matter. I've been angry at you for things I didn't understand. Forgive me, not because I deserve it, but because you promised you would. That's 1 John 1-9 right there. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us. Not maybe, not if you're good enough. He will forgive you. Keep going. I believe you died for me. I believe you rose from the dead. I believe you're alive right now, listening to these words. And I'm asking you come into my life, not as a guest, as the owner. Take the wheel. I'm done driving. Rule my remaining days, whether that's 2 years or 20. I want them to count. I want them to mean something. Now here's where it gets powerful, because you're not just inviting Jesus, you're activating heaven's armies. And Michael, warrior of God, commander of angels, I invite you and heaven's forces to guard my house, my hospital room, my final years. Fight the battles I can't see. Protect my mind from fear. Protect my heart from bitterness. Protect my family from the enemy's schemes. I'm not fighting alone anymore. Daniel 10:13 shows us Michael fighting on behalf of God's people. He's not a myth, he's a warrior. And tonight, you just enlisted him. But there's one more thing, and this might be the hardest part. There's someone you need to forgive. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The name just flashed in your mind. Maybe it's your ex-husband who walked out. Maybe it's the daughter who stopped calling. Maybe it's the business partner who stole everything. Maybe it's yourself. Say the name quietly if you need to. But say this to God: I release them. I forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because I refuse to die with this poison in my heart. I will not carry this into eternity. I let it go. right now, in Jesus' name. Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." You can't hold on to bitterness and hold on to Jesus at the same time. One of them has to go. Now do something prophetic, something you can look back on. Get a piece of paper right now. I'll wait and write today's date, December 31. Put it in your Bible, tape it to your bathroom mirror, stick it in your wallet, because 10 years from now, when the enemy whispers that you're forgotten, that you're too old, that your prayers don't matter, you'll pull out that piece of paper and remember the night heaven marked you. If you just prayed that prayer, if something shifted in your chest, if tears are running down your face, if you feel lighter than you have in years, type this in the comments right now. I answered. Don't scroll past this. Heaven is watching. Angels are recording. Your name is being written in the book of life, and this moment matters more than you know. And here's what I need you to understand. You're not just sharing a YouTube link when you send this to someone. You're sending a warning and a blessing. You're saying, I love you enough to interrupt your evening with eternity. So hit that like button. Not for me, for the algorithm that will push this message to someone who's thinking about ending it tonight. Share this with at least one family member. Text it to your sister. Email it to your grandson. Post it on Facebook where your old high school friends can see it. Because you just became a messenger. And messengers don't keep the message to themselves. But there's one more thing I need to tell you before we close. Something Jesus and Michael want you to remember every single time the enemy whispers that you're too old, too broken, too late. Are you ready to hear it? So here we are, December 31. The clock's ticking toward midnight, and most of America is planning their countdown, their champagne, their resolutions they'll forget by January 15th. But you're different. You're still here. And that tells me something. Heaven already knows you didn't come this far just to turn back now. Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to reframe everything you thought about this date. December 31 is not just the end of another year. For you, beloved, it's the end of a lie. The lie that said you're too old to matter. The lie that whispered you've missed your moment. The lie that convinced you God moved on without you. That lie dies tonight. You know what Jesus told me to tell you? He said, "Tell them I didn't carry them this far just to drop them at the finish line." You hear that? Every step you took when your knees screamed, every breath you drew when your lungs felt like cement, every morning you opened your eyes when part of you wanted to stay asleep forever. That wasn't luck. That wasn't stubbornness. That was Jesus holding you up when you had nothing left. And Michael, that archangel who's been fighting in realms you can't see, he's been standing guard over your life like a soldier who refuses to abandon his post. When that drunk driver swerved into your lane in 1987 and somehow missed you by inches, that was Michael. When the doctor said cancer, but your scans came back clear 6 months later, that was Michael's sword cutting through darkness. When you should have died from that heart attack but woke up in the ICU instead, Michael was there, defying hell's plans for your life. But here's what breaks my heart. You've been walking alone, carrying weights that were never yours to carry, believing you had to figure it out, fix it yourself, be strong enough to survive one more day without help. No more. I'm declaring something over your life right now, and I want you to feel the weight of these words settle into your bones. You will not walk into the next year alone. You hear me? Not alone. Not forgotten. Not abandoned. Jesus is not just for your childhood Sunday school memories. He is for this moment, for your arthritis that won't quit, for your empty bank account on the 29th of every month, for your children who stopped calling, for your nights when the silence gets so loud you can't stand it. He is for your last breath, beloved. And he's promised in Hebrews 13:5, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Never means never. And Michael, he's not trapped in Bible stories from 2,000 years ago. He's for this street you live on, this house where you pray alone, this hospital room where you'll face your next battle. Psalm 91:11 says God will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. All your ways. Every single one. So what does this mean for you walking into 2025? It means you stop pretending you have to be strong. It means you start each morning with something simple. Just whisper, "Good morning, Lord. I'm still here. Help me make it through today." That's it. No fancy prayers, no religious performance, just honest conversation with the one who knows your name. It means you pick up that dusty Bible and read one verse, just one. Start with Psalms if you don't know where to go. Or Isaiah 46:4. Let me read it to you. "Even to your old age and grey hairs, I am he. I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you." You think God wrote that for someone else? That's for you. Your grey hairs, your old age, your need to be carried. It means you speak blessing over your children and grandchildren, even if they're 500 miles away and haven't called since Thanksgiving. You speak life over them because your words still carry weight in heaven's courts. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, your words, your prayers." Listen to me. You've survived too much to quit now. You've buried too many people to waste the life you still have. You've seen enough funerals to know that time doesn't wait for anyone, so stop waiting for perfect conditions to start living in the presence of the God who's been chasing you for decades. Don't skip Jesus. That's what this whole message has been about. Don't ignore Michael's battle cry over your life. Today, right now, this moment you didn't. You stayed. You listened. You let something ancient and true stir in your chest. And heaven took note. I need you to do something for me before we close. I need you to subscribe to this channel, because we're not done. This isn't a one-time message. This is a journey we're walking together. Every week, I'm going to be here, reminding you who you are and whose you are. Comment below your age and where you're watching from. Tell me your first name, because I'm going to pray for you by name. You're not just a view count to me. You're a soul that matters to God. And share this message with one person over 50 that you care about. One person who needs to hear that their life still matters, that heaven's not done with them yet. Now let me speak this blessing over you before you go. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. May his angels encamp around your bed tonight, around your home, around every step you take into this new year. May you feel his presence when you wake and hear his whisper when you pray. May you never walk alone again. In Jesus' name, the name above every name, Amen. You made it, beloved. Now let's see what God does with a life that finally said yes.